Mania Live. Streaming from Shinston, West Virginia. Here's your host, Scott Arnold.
I had to. Yeah, quit in a minute. I owe Atticus Finch everything, and we're just going to pour it all out on the show tonight. You're muted, Patrick, but I guess it's optional if you want to be muted or not. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. These days have been some good days, and I kind of count it that way. It's like life's got its ups and downs, but I would say if you can collect more good days in a week than bad days in a week,
or hours at this point for me. I mean, it's like, how am I going to feel next hour?
Yeah, you know what? Hours too, right? You get to the end of the day, and you say, yeah, there are about maybe 10 of these hours I was awake that were pretty good. That's not bad.
Let's give the folks a little bit of a background to here. Not everybody that was with me then, because I didn't have very many, last time you were on. Not everybody was, I didn't know everybody at that point. I mean, I still don't know you know what I mean? Okay, so so we celebrated 5 years of this show in August, at the end of July.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I was able to personally go back and look at some of the ones from Facebook, which was before your time. You guys were the very first on YouTube when I did the switch over to YouTube. When Warner Music said, "Okay, you're playing copywritten music on Facebook. We don't like you anymore. Either quit or just keep doing it, and we'll sue you." I don't know what they would have done, but that was the point where Facebook was starting to change, and they started giving me that Meta Business Suite that you had to log in for your Facebook. It was just dumb. So I'm glad I made that switch. Well, you guys were the very first to be on that show, and I don't know what happened, but I don't know whether the settings are different. I can't remember what it was because I had a completely different. I don't even think I had a mixer at the time. I might have. That's really weird, but it was just everything was just different to me. And I remember you and I talked on the phone like that week, also just getting ideas, and I was nervous about doing it and stuff, and you were like, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine." Very easy to talk to. So I felt good about it, but then, and I was just bebopping. The intro, I can't remember who it was. I went back and watched it, but I can't even remember who the band was. I was just, and you guys were like talking, which was, whatever. And I'm just bebopping. And then, the show starts. And then it wasn't until we went to play one of your songs that I realized that you guys can't hear anything that I can hear at all. Nothing music-wise came through. But we still had a great chat anyway. We had a great show, and then you came back it was a couple months later for Quiet Hours.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they're together anymore because I looked on Apple Music a little bit ago, and their last album was in 2022. So I haven't heard anything, but they were good. Hopefully they're still
us. Bands, they ebb and flow. And they go to different iterations. I know people that are same members, but they're like 4 band names deep.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Well, Atticus Finch is still Atticus Finch, right?
Yes, we are, and we will always be Atticus Finch. There'll be different. I'd say this way: no one has ever left the band Atticus Finch.
Really?
We just keep collecting band members.
So is it still the same? What was there? How many is there 6 in the band?
There's probably about 10, 11 now. So what happens is, we're all supposed to spread out across the country. Yeah. And the big thing with us is, life happens. And a lot of times when bands, life happens, a lot of times someone may say, "Hey, I got to step away from the band."
Right.
And, first and foremost, we're all friends and we love each other. And we just don't feel right being like, "You're not in the band anymore." So, and it just so happened to turn out, someone asked us to play a show and it's like, "Can we get 4 people?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If you have 10 people, you can find 4 people to do a show.
I should have invited
you guys depending on what you get.
We had a concert on August the 2nd to celebrate 5 years. I should have called you up and said, "Hey, get some guys together," or you could have came down and did your acoustic.
Yeah.
Stuff. We had a couple guys that were solo. We had my buddy from Nashville came up and played. Next year, I'm going to try to do it again next year. Probably in Pittsburgh though, because it's just around here. It's just too hard to get a crowd. Even on a Saturday, you would think it wouldn't be that. Well, Plus, I was competing with Jesus Fest. Jesus Fest was that weekend in downtown Herkimer. So I don't think I was competing with that, but it's safe to assume. Yeah.
Yeah, you're throwing a show, and then there's a tried and true traditional event that people look forward to every year.
Like
it's
Santa's Last Drop.
Yeah, it's like Santa's Last Drop.
And you've done that every year, right? Since when?
There's been some years that
except
have
for
been,
COVID, right?
Yeah. And there may have been a year where just as life was happening. But the big thing for us is we've done it every year for the most part since 2009. Hold on, I'm going to switch to a better Wi-Fi. It's going to take. I'm going to dip real quick.
All right, I'll talk about this contest that I'm doing. Yeah, he pros. Okay. Now listen, I got on my
and just like that, I'm back.
Okay. Well, I didn't get a chance to go into it, but I'll do it later. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's pretty good. I need a Wi-Fi like that.
Yeah, I've got an extender at the house, and it does tricks. But when I go to certain places in the house, the chimney makes it so you don't get great service. So the extender is like, I got you, bro.
You know what you need to do though? Get rid of the chimney. That's the solution.
We can get into it if we want, but there are points almost where it's like with houses and the way we do our water and stuff.
I've got to show you something. I've got to, since I just mentioned that, I've got to show you this, and I'm using my phone as my camera because my camera's broken. But
yeah.
Okay, the last time you guys were on, there was a wall behind me, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of similar to this. This isn't the same wall. This is a completely opposite wall. Since you've been on, I've taken out a wall. So there's the whole other room where we play music.
Yeah.
So, speaking of taking chimneys out, I took a wall out to make the studio bigger. You can do that with the chimney. Just take the chimney out. I hate when that zooms in on me like that.
I just get the sledgehammer. It's right next to me right now. That chimney.
We were going to do a fundraiser, like have people like pay $5 to sledge the wall, but we didn't do that. We didn't do that.
Well, I will say this though: if I get rid of the chimney, where is Santa going to be able to drop to bring the next Atticus Finch concert?
Yeah.
So that's the big thing about why you want to make sure you got that chimney, so that way Santa can come down with all them good bands or good presents, depending on what Santa may be bringing you this year.
I see. Okay, so I have my iPhone up here, and it's got that camera that tracks you, which is nice, but I don't like it because I can't control where it just stays. Yep. Are there? Are you still seeing the YouTube? Are you seeing it on YouTube?
Let me check.
It shows for me, but I can't see views. So
yep, I can still see it. I see 4 people watching.
I see 8 people watching.
All right. Well, we got people watching.
My Wi-Fi is better than yours.
Yes, it is.
Well, if you're watching and you know this gentleman, you can chat about him, and you can ask him questions. Be nice about it though. I don't have any of my moderators tonight, so
there are no nothing's off limits. You can ask a question, and I can.
Well, there's certain things are off limits, but
Yeah, look, it's kind of the rules of this. You have a right to ask the question. I have a right to tell you no, thank you.
That's true. Yeah, I did have a one of those. I guess they'd be like a troll or somebody just jumps into somebody's live stream and has no idea why they're even doing a live stream, but they just type things, and that's what this person was doing, and I just kicked him out immediately.
Yep.
It was a circumcision question.
That not
immediately
sure
deleted.
Has to do with music.
Immediately deleted, and he was booted. He or she or whatever that was. That's one of the things that's been tough about doing this by myself. Because I've done this by myself since I started. But I have a few people that can be moderators if I need.
Yeah.
If I expect a lot of people chatting, at once. But there's only been like maybe 2 or 3 times I've had to actually boot somebody out of the chat. Somebody's chatting already. Matt plays bass. Do you know him?
I do. I know a Matt. I know a Matt that plays bass. I can only assume that the Matt that plays bass 25 is this Matt.
Now, is this Matt in Atticus Finch also?
This Matt is not in Atticus Finch. But I ask you, Matt, what's your favorite Blue Oyster Cult record? And if he can answer this question, then I know
that's the one. Okay.
that this is the right Matt. And if
he wants to know what your favorite years of Santa's Last Drop are.
That's a tough question.
All of them.
No, that's the cop-out answer. I want to give you something good. Okay. I think for me, 2019 was very special because we had gotten off of a couple different tours that year, something that we never thought we would do, but we hit a point in life where we could. But last year was very special because for me, and I went through some illness stuff over the last couple of years, that just, kind of takes you out of certain parts of your life for a while. And
Yeah.
then as I started being able to feel better and figure things out, I was able to put more attention into this. And I think last year was the first year that I really felt good about myself and
Yeah.
being able to perform at a level that I did before I got sick. And that was
Plus, you got
very
to get that
special.
energy back too. I know how tough it is. After going through pancreatitis, and
Yeah.
I'm still kind of dealing with learning how to eat and eat the things I'm supposed to eat and learning what I can't. But just getting energy back is a big deal, and that's physical energy because you've been laying around for months, or however long it's been. Even if you're laying around for a week, it takes a toll on you.
I will give a ringing endorsement to my CPAP machine. I must tell you, I've been at this thing about a month and a half, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm getting used to it,
Yeah.
but the annoyances of the CPAP machine are way less than the annoyances of what was the problem was.
Yeah.
So, anyone out there, if you're having sleep problems, like I'll say it this way, I'll be completely upfront. Having some nightmares about things you don't know why you're having these nightmares, very anxiety-ridden nightmares, and you're like, oh, maybe I thought I was kind of in a good spot, but what's going on here? Um, and for me, there was a little bit of stuff going on in my life, but it turns out if you have sleep apnea, since your body's like kind of waking you up because you stop breathing, your
Yeah.
body oftentimes will have sort of like anxious nightmares. And because you can maybe get into your REM sleep, but you can't get out of it, but you get out of your REM sleep and you don't finish it, you remember your dreams from what I understand this to be. And because of that, if you're not breathing, you get this riddle of anxiety. A dream can turn into a nightmare very quick. It's very vivid.
Awful.
And so what I'm saying is though, CPAP machine, I can't say 100% knocked it out, but like, dreams I don't have as vivid dreams anymore. I
Yeah.
wake up, I have energy throughout the day. I share that with anyone. If you're having sleep issues, definitely check out the idea of like, I'm not a doctor or anything, but definitely go down the route of sleep study for sleep apnea because it's a lot more common than I thought it is. And once I had it and I talked to other people, I was surprised at how many people themselves said they had
Sometimes,
it. Happened to help them.
sometimes there's studies out there, and you can get paid to go to a sleep thing, a sleep lab or
Yeah.
whatever. They'll pay you to go there and they'll study you. So if you're having problems, try that first, where you can get paid first, and then you can go pay to go to get a real doctor to diagnose you, and then you'll be fine, right?
Yeah, and I see Matt in here saying truth. I've never had issues with using my CPAP. Matt, I'm
Nice.
glad you also see that's it. I didn't know Matt used the CPAP.
There you go.
There you go. Literally,
That's
you
how we-
mentioned
yeah.
CPAP, and we're like, oh yeah, I love my CPAP.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you're not saying
All right, Matt. Yes.
this. Exactly. And
Matt
also,
wins. Matt
Fire
wins.
of Unknown Origin, very good Blue Oyster Cult record.
Let me throw something out here just early on, and then I promise the entire episode will be you. But I got to throw it kind of made me a little bit not mad, but kind of irritated.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so I had this idea. I got these. Well, it's clear over there now, but I have a merch like site now. I don't know if you ever heard of Bonfire, but I started. I was like, well, this is pretty neat. I can design stuff on here pretty well, and I don't like Shopify. I don't like any of that stuff for some reason. I just can't. It's not user friendly for me. So anyway, I made some merch. I got hats. I got just regular like t-shirts in different colors, and I got one of the shirts over there. It's like they call it a ringer tee. It's all white, but then it's got like black sleeves right here and then right here, and then a zip up. So I did that, and I was like, so I got the shirt, and I was like, okay, I want to give this shirt away, because I can I can get this shirt anytime, and I have several shirts, of my own shirts. So what if I did like a merch bundle and just did a giveaway for Christmas, So I got on the AI to get an idea of how I could do a giveaway, like what I could have somebody like the audience do or the viewers do to be able to win this merch bundle, right? And it's very simple. It's very simple what I came up with, or what the AI kind of came up with, but I tweaked it because they can't do everything, So, and I posted to Instagram like I don't know Friday or Saturday, and I don't know if you saw it, but all you have to do is go back and watch episode 372 with Shay Vicious and go to the part where we talk about their jobs. what they do for a living, other than being rock stars. And there was only 3 of the guys on the show, so you have to just go to. It's not that big of a process. I'm making it harder than it is, but
episode 372.
Yeah, so you go to episode 372, and you go into the part of the show where we talk about their jobs, and it's very funny too. It's a very funny segment, but you just put their once you know their jobs, you click on the link in there's one in my link tree, and I think there's another one somewhere else. Anyway, if you can't find it, send me a message and I'll send you the link. But it goes to Google Forms, just like that one that you filled out for the show. It goes to Google Forms, and you just type in your answer there, and then your contact, and then you watch the show on Friday, this coming Friday, with the guys from Orlando, within a reverie. And there'll be some kind of a question that I'll ask on the show, like what color shirt is one of the guys on the show wearing or something. Basically, you have to be watching the show live to win. And whoever gets the answer first in the chat wins the bundle. Out of the people that got the job questions right. So it's fairly easy to do that. It's just, you got to go. Nobody has entered yet. Nobody. I checked it. No? I checked Google Forms last night to see if anybody had responded, and nobody's responded yet. So does nobody want this bundle?
I'm not sure. It's, you know what? It's
I'm kind of pissed.
Well, maybe people have gone to do it. And what happens is we go on these social media sites and it's like, oh, I'm going to go in. I'm going to enter this bundle to win this free merch. And then all of a sudden you just see the cutest little, like,
distractions.
And they're just like, oh, but look at this poodle. And then you're just like, wait, what was I doing?
Or look at this porno. That could happen.
You know what? Some of these social media sites, some of these things.
Some of them, yeah.
I'll tell you.
You got to put that, you got to involve that also. But no, like,
yeah.
So it's not just that. It was originally just going to be that shirt, but I was like, I got to make it more appealing than that, Plus, the shirt's only in one size, so that's not going to be good. So hopefully, whoever wins has a large. I won't have to get another one, but I will. I will get. But I don't know if I want to really even tell what's in this bundle because nobody's even signed up to do it anyway. You'll do it though, right? You'll do the thing.
I'll pass.
At least enter. And if you're the only entrant, then you'll win.
Yeah, you know what? It's like we gotta get some more people.
You have a shitload of Acute Mania merchandise. I don't think I sent you guys anything. I don't think I even had anything at that point. Did I? Did I have any like stickers or anything?
Yeah, you sent me stickers and such. Yeah. Yep, you did.
Okay, well,
I'm very appreciative. They're all over my guitar case.
Regardless, if you win, I'll have to send you more because I don't even that logo I didn't even own, but I own that one now, and I have. Let me see where they're at. Yeah, I have a couple. I just did a reorder of all this stuff, especially for the bundle, and I'll send you up some stickers. But I still do that. Yeah. So it's like stickers. There's magnets I'm getting made, and what's the other thing? Pens. Cute Mini Live pens. I can never find a freaking pen around here, so now I'm gonna have 50 of them at first, and then I'm gonna give some out.
Well, question for you: do you think sort of something I'll do at work, sort of like we'll come up with something, and then it will be like, we're not getting any entries or anything. This will change the game.
Like what?
I don't know.
I'm not very creative. That's the problem.
You could run it for the next couple weeks, and you could change the game to come up with a random band names, and put your names, and then you can read all the band names that people come up with.
That'd be funny, actually.
And then you can pick your favorite of the band names, and the person who has the best band name gets the merch.
Okay, I might have to develop that. I'll let it go for another couple days here, because I was going to do it Friday, and it's only Monday. There's time. So Matt plays bass. Matt plays bass. Should go play the game and enter the bundle thing.
Yes. And
anybody else that might be watching. And my parents should do it too. My mom, I'm sure, is watching. She usually always watches, so you can say hi to her. and it's funny because she won't get it in the chat. She'll text me, but she can't now because my phone is the camera. So I'm not gonna see it until I'm done. But before I would sit here and she would text me like whatever I was saying about her on the thing. I don't know.
Shout out, Mom.
Tell me a little bit about your. I don't think I was aware that you did like solo stuff. I mean, I have my guitar and I play things too. I don't really release anything, but when it comes to that, so I didn't know that part of you. I guess that you did solo acoustic music until now. And I was just,
Yes.
kind of tell the folks a little bit about that and me.
Yeah. So writing music, I would say 95% of the songs that I write start in an acoustic guitar. They start with a tune or something that I'm just playing in my head that I need to get out. And I've often thought about like, why is it that I play music? There's so many of us out there that play music. We're a dime a dozen if you just ask, are they a musician? Yes. And we don't, at least for me, I don't do it because I want to be a musician. I do it because I am one.
Yeah.
And, doesn't matter the caliber of my talent. It matters just the fire that I have to make some sort of tune. I mean, I'll be at a table and I'll be just tapping along, shaking my legs, and someone will be like, "Is the table shaking?" And I'll be like, "Oh, sorry." That's just who I am. It's part of who I am.
It's usually
And it's
drummers that do that, but yeah, I
yeah,
get, I know what you're saying.
but it's like this idea of I have to get it out.
Yeah.
And you'll write songs that someone won't hear, and then you'll write some songs that you'll put out, and maybe someone else can get something. And I just put out 3 tracks called the Closure EP, and there are songs that I wrote probably about 10 years ago when I had gone through a breakup when I was just a wee little lad.
Those are always the
And
best songs. You know what I mean? I have
yeah,
a lot like that. Yeah.
and they just meant a lot to me then. I'd put them on Bandcamp and I'd played a little bit, but then I kind of went off and did some other things in my life. And I revisited these songs as I was doing things with my life and getting back to it after I've, kind of get done with a bout of illness and getting back to being the musician that that of that when I have the energy for this. And I just said, these songs resonate with me in completely different ways because when you're dealing with a breakup, it's like the idea of the way it is 3 songs. Closure. The first song, Bones, basically is blaming the other person. The
Yeah.
second song, Monster, is blaming myself. And the third song, Closure, is essentially being like, I don't know if it's right to really blame anyone for this. And maybe we're both a little bit to blame. And I just kind of don't know what to do with my emotions right now.
Kind of like a
But there's
compromise kind of deal.
yeah, but there's these lines in the song that I've gone and it's almost like, there's a part of my life almost before I got sick. I'll share it with you. I got COVID in 2021 and then I was healthy and then all of a sudden a lot of things, fatigue, respiratory, just started dipping. That whole long COVID thing.
I remember.
And shout out to my wife, Alex, for just being ride or die. Awesome being there for me. She saw it all.
And you
And
guys
every
were kind of
time
newlyweds also, right? Am I right on that?
Yes, we got 2 weeks after we got married. We'd been together for 6 years at the time, but 2 weeks after we got married, got sick. So, and this kind of plays into why these songs are so important to me, though. Um, and then eventually it's a long road, and I feel almost crazy for saying it this way, but like somehow, some way, I go through, get genetic testing done. I have late onset cystic fibrosis, which
Wow.
is a mucus disease. And typically you're born with that. It can, affect the mucus throughout your entire body, gunk up organs, and have some really detrimental results for people. Luckily, there's some wonderful medicine out there for it. But for whatever reason,
Yeah. Sure.
a Johns Hopkins genetic test proved that this was the reason for a lot of the things I was having. So,
Crazy.
I couldn't tell you every mixed way or the other, but ever since then, I've been able to get the care that I need, and life has found its way back up.
Wow.
But
It's
I'm
tough.
not the same person I was in, 2021 before that. And one thing I've had a lot of struggle with is this idea of as if it was a divorce from myself and
Yeah,
from who
that's
I
true.
was and dealing with this and you're dealing my energy levels are so low, but I still have the same level of drive, passion, and emotion as the as that person I was. And that person is me, but it feels like 2 different people. So
I
I
can
went
relate with
back
that
and yeah,
100%. 100%. Yeah.
but I went back and I've revisited these songs and I almost, in many respects, felt like I was talking to myself. And not just the illness, just the fact that we changed so much. And there's a line in the song Bones, and it plays off the idea of, 2 people are, just people are differences. The song starts out as, "You are Bones, and I am How I Met Your Mother. Couldn't be farther away on a Monday night," because both shows were on different television stations at 8 o'clock on the same night. You couldn't be farther away. We're
Yeah.
doing the same thing, but in different places and all these types of things. But there's a line in the song that goes, there comes a time in life when someone's not their self for so long, it's just the person they've become. because it's like you've
Yeah.
changed, but it's like this is who you are now. And I heard that line for myself and looking back at myself, and I'm like, I'm different. I'm not that person anymore. And
It's tough. Yeah.
I can't be that person anymore, but that doesn't mean I can't be what I am now. And
You're like a motivational speaker for everybody.
well,
You
I
know?
appreciate that.
Should
I
be,
try to
or
channel
if
my
you're
inner
not.
Matt Foley from SNL the best I
There
can.
you go.
But
Yeah. He's the best.
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, but I'll tell you, I'm not
Oh
going to
yeah.
jump through tables like Matt Foley though. I can't do that. But
Aren't
that's
you kind of? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but aren't you kind of in the middle of what football team you should be rooting for? Since you're not really. Are you closer to Buffalo than you would be to the other teams?
closer to New York City, but I think upstate New York, Buffalo, it's just such a
I just want to be.
I grew up in like Herkimer, Utica area, as you know. So
Next
that
to Mohawk.
area is the middle ground. But I feel like over the last few years, it's really leaned Bills because they were lovable losers for a while, and then
Yeah.
now it's just they're a fun team to watch.
There's some great music from Buffalo. I've had some great bands on from Buffalo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And but I love this joke. It's like New York only has one team because the other two teams, the Giants and Jets, play in New Jersey.
That's true. Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah.
there's that joke that people like to
Right.
make, and I laugh at that. But I've got friends who are Giants and Jets fans, and fans of pretty much every team. And
But not great friends, right?
no, seriously, one thing, and to call this out in society, we often get too lost in our fanhood, whether that be in a sports team or political wise.
Sometimes.
But it's this idea of like, why are we watching the games? Are we watching the games to watch our team pummel someone? Are we watching the game because, okay, maybe, but like it entertains us. It's belongs something bigger than ourselves.
It's like the Ravens and the Steelers,
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of, I guess. I don't know.
But no, and it's this rivalry, but it's the idea of like, I think football, looking at football specific, it builds
Yeah.
this community around each other. And for me,
Yeah.
everything in my life I'm finding out that I've always been attracted to and wanted to be part of is some sort of community. And yeah, I commend you because you
have an
built this
HOA?
community around this podcast.
You
I
have an-
don't have it. I do not have an HOA, but
gonna say, that's a good-
does Acute Mania Live have an HOA?
No, not yet. We're
Not yet.
We're voting. Yeah.
I was gonna say with over your how many guests you've had on this show.
Well, I mean, if nobody enters the contest, then I guess I'm not going to do an HOA.
You actually just gave people a reason not to. I don't want
Well,
no HOA.
Well, I mean, it's a different kind of HOA. It's not.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if we
Exclusive.
collect enough money, we can build the Acute Mania pool.
I used to when I was on Facebook. I had how you could have Facebook groups with your page or whatever.
Yep.
It was the maniacs, Acute Maniacs, and there was a few people that joined, and I had to go in and dissolve all that stuff too because the page is still there. I mean, if you're on Facebook and you love Facebook, you can still follow me from there, but I wouldn't. I don't like it. I don't like that platform. It's just a bunch of drama. It's not fun anymore like it was. Facebook used to be a little bit okay, But
Yeah,
the only reason I started there because I knew that platform. I knew how to do the live streams on there. It was easy. But then it turned into a headache,
Things ebb and flow. That's for sure. There, it's like there have been bad times to be a Buffalo Bills fan, and right now is a good time to be a Buffalo Bills fan.
That's right.
Maybe right now is not the best time to be on Facebook. Maybe 5 years from now they'll be like,
I doubt it.
okay, we figured out the you
MySpace is worth that. I think you can still get on MySpace, honestly.
Yeah, in the words of Billy Joel, you may be wrong, but you may be right.
That's true. Yeah. And there was something else. Well, I can't remember right now. Okay, I have kind of an announcement to make, and this will be more. I'll say a little bit more about it later, in the show. But I do this segment for those of you who don't know called the offstage segment. I've tried all these ideas of after that 40th episode and going on. I didn't have any segments at all. I was just talking, which was great. But I wanted to do something fun, and I had a hot dog segment for a while. That was okay. Like, what do you like on your hot dogs? I called it the wiener segment. It was okay. Did that for a year and a half, and then I was like, I want to change. I'm going to do something else. So I did landmarks for a little bit. Like, what are some landmarks in your town or your city that aren't really like announced to tourists, but they've been there, all your life. You probably take it for granted, just different things. So I did that for a while, and then it kind of just fell off. The ideas weren't really there. It was more of me looking up their town and trying to find stuff, than them telling me. So that kind of went away, and I was like, what can I? So Now it's just like a bunch of random, like, would you rather questions. Would you rather do this or that? So anyway, I was thinking, I need a sponsor for the show, but like, not somebody to pay me, but just somebody like maybe like a music store that can let me use something on the show, like a microphone and something like that. Well, the guy that does my mixing mastering for my electronic music, Benjamin Hall, he's got a studio and he does a phenomenal job. You can take your whole band into his house. His studio is in his basement. You bring your whole band in there, and by the time he's done with recording and mixing and mastering your stuff, it's going to sound pristine. Like, it's amazing the way, and it's just him. There's nobody else that works there. It's just him. And it's phenomenal. I mean, doing my electronic stuff is not that difficult. I just send him the stems and he's just leveling things. But he does things that, like panning and stuff to it, that I don't have to say anything. Like, well, let's do this there. He knows the right spots to put things and to make things sound good. He's just phenomenal. And he's just right up in Greensburg, PA, which is not very far, like an hour and a half, I think, from here. So I kind of pitched him an idea. What was that? Yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And we had a phone call, and I was like, "What do you think about being Acute Mania Live's very first sponsor?" And he's like, "Well," and then we talked about it, and he was like, "Yeah, that sounds like something we can do." So he is the sponsor of the Offstage segment for the entire, from now until the end of 2026. So I got him for an entire year contract, I guess contract you could call it. But so that's I made a little intro thing to the Offstage segment for later when we do it. We'll get to hear that. But
that's wonderful.
That's like a milestone, Milestone. Are you okay? You have sleep apnea? Okay.
Yep. Oh, no, I'm not dozing off. You don't got to worry about that.
Right? Yeah. Well, let's play one of your songs so the folks can hear
let's do it.
I know my mom wants to hear it because I told her all about who you were and stuff, and I was like, well, now he's got his own stuff that's out, and I was like, it's really good stuff, and it really is. I can see the Atticus Finch in you. I don't know what that means. I don't know what song do you want to play? Do you want to play Bones, or do you want to play either?
You know what? I talked about Bones. Let's play Bones so if the listeners can hear that, and maybe they'll get the gist of.
Is this the one that you say this is dedicated to? Was it Steve Knapp?
Nope. That's Closure. But shout out to Steve Knapp and his now fiance. Just got engaged. Steve Knapp is one of my good friends from back home. Always supported me. And I was recording it. I did sort of like just a recording, got some really good cameras, went over to my brother's house where he's got some nice floral wallpaper, and we set up a microphone in the cameras and just press record and, re-recorded these songs so that way, we could try to capture them in 2020.
It's got some nice floral wallpaper.
Yeah, set the mode,
Are you not living in Herkimer anymore?
I don't live in Herkimer anymore. I live in Albany, which is about an hour 10 away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember I've been through that area. Remember we talked about that?
Yes, you've been up in the
I wore my ice cream shirt on that show too. Up in was the lake? What was the name of the lake?
Speculator. You thinking?
Speculator. Yeah. The name of the town. Yes, I missed that area. That's a very nice area. Okay, here's Bones by Patrick Malowski, and that's how you can find it on all your favorite platforms. Check it out. It's really good.
You are Bones, and I am how I met your mother. We couldn't be farther away from each other on a Monday night. And now the distance opened up my eyes. It's your fault that I'm not there. And tell yourself that the love just died. Even lie and tell yourself you tried. But there will always be something missing in your life. Did you think it'd be so rough just to erase me from your life? Do you regret all the things you've done? Or is common sense gone and slipped your mind? Post these lyrics on your wall, 'cause I don't need them anymore. You made sure that I'm not sleeping in it. This time, it's time to say I tried it all. You just dicked me around and I took the fall. Didn't eat, couldn't sleep, didn't stand too tall. Wasn't myself, had to alter my ways. 'Cause things change for the better. When you left, people asked why'd you let her. There was only one thing I could tell them. Good things die because people like you let them. Did you think it'd be so rough just to erase me from your life? Do you regret all the things you've done? Or is common sense gone and slipped your mind? Most these lyrics on your wall, 'cause I don't need them anymore. Made sure that I'm not sleeping in it. This time, it's time to say goodbye. Make me an offer that I can't refuse. Write me a letter, the words girl you choose. 'Cause if there weren't words that I could write to win you back, I would've wrote them down by now. It's not just the things that you've been saying, it's the action, the demeanor you're portraying. There comes a time in life when someone's not themselves for so long. It's just the person they've become. And you are just a figment of my imagination. There's nothing left. I've gone through better days, you've changed, oh girl, you're not the same. I put you in the best. Remember the day by the water, only remnants left to your empty shell. The girl I love is gone and though, will she come back? Only time will tell.
That's it's powerful. You know, I was reading along with the lyrics, and you know, it's I hear that was it mallets in there towards the piano in there too.
Glockenspiel.
Glockenspiel, yes, I like that. Were you playing everything, or did you guys have some help?
So my brother Brandon had helped me kind of map that out. I kind of knew what I wanted there.
The piano in there too.
Yep, he is. So he's awesome. He can play any instrument under the sun. Classically trained musician.
Wow. Yeah.
Choral and music director at a church. You know, middle school music teacher.
Nice.
Awesome musician. Plays in a guitar in a polka band. Like literally,
I would love to have a polka band on my show. We've got to make this happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. I've had everybody but a polka band.
That's it. Then you've made it all the way around the
sort of.
genre.
Well, kind of. Yeah. Yeah. There's still more to do, I think. But anyway, yeah. That's dude. That's so good. I mean, I've heard all of the songs. You know, I took a deep dive into them, and but you know, when you have cans on, you know, you hear everything, and I don't know how I missed the glockenspiel and the piano I heard in there, but I don't know how I missed that, or unless it might have just flowed differently on a speaker. It always does. You know, things just sound different on a speaker, or you know, on your can, you can hear everything. I recently, my dad, he wanted some headphones. They fly a lot, right? So they travel all the time. He wanted something he could listen to his phone, like whether it be like a show or a movie or something, just talk radio. He listens to talk radio, something where he's not hearing people around him. You know, I was like, you need these Audio Technicas that I have, you know. So I I looked it up on Amazon when I was at his house, and I was here, these right here. Well, I picked the wrong ones. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's not. I thought they were the exact same ones that I have now. It was the ones that I had on when you were on episode 40, the cheaper ones. I'm not saying they're cheap, but they're just not for what. They're
not the same,
They're not as good, So he was at my house, and I was showing him how they kind of fold. Here, they kind of go like this. They fold up, and he wanted something compact like that, right? Well, he goes home. He goes home and tries to do that with his, and he's like, I cannot get them to fold. I was like, well, let me do a video of doing mine again, so you can see me folding. I thought they were the same exact model, but they weren't. They were the other ones that don't fold. They don't do any of that. They swivel a little bit. Anyway, so he's sending those back and getting the 50s like I have. Bless you.
Thank you very much.
I saw that building.
Just go right for the mute button.
Yeah,
it's like in your last gasp before the sneeze, the mute.
But I was like, you're probably not going to want to pay the price for these headphones. But trust me, you won't get any headphones like ever again. Like these are the ones, And of course, I have two now. I have the blue ones and black ones that I use. But they're just don't get the cheap version because you don't want to spend the money. Get the money ones now, so you don't have to worry about getting. But I don't know if he's got the new ones yet, but. But what I'm getting at from that is you hear everything with these. You hear everything, but you don't hear you can hear people talking to you, but not very good. If it's quiet in your headphones. But you hear every. It doesn't matter what you're watching or listening to. You can hear everything, and they're what is the word? Dynamic, I guess. Dynamic headphones. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just a higher quality than your phone speak.
Yeah, and they're comfy.
It's different. And that's big too. You want something that feels good on your ears. You wear them for so much.
My ears are huge, so they don't really fit. I have to tuck them in, I don't know if you can see, but they don't really go over my ears because I have like elephant ears, so I have to force them inside of the cup. It kind of sucks, but Well, when I get like bigger than Joe Rogan, which is pretty soon, I'm gonna have my own custom made Audio-Technica headphones for my giant ears.
Yeah, you know what? They gotta have different. I imagine that's something that they have different. Almost like that's surprising. Like you would think that they would almost be like headphones for different ear sizes and things.
Giant ears.
Look,
it's like shirts. It's like t-shirts and jeans. They have big and tall clothes. Yeah. They should have big and tall earphones. Well, if they don't, then I will come up with that, and then that'll be a side project.
There you go. That's your ticket right there.
No, that's very good stuff, man. It's it's nothing new that I thought before when I listened to it before. It's very good stuff. And the message in there is great.
That's for me the thing. Every chord's been played at some point. And I think what makes it different is the message and the human that's playing it. And it's funny. When I was younger, I used to think in terms of like, oh, I hope people listen to this, and I hope people do that, and I always thought there was a right and wrong way. And a phrase I've been using now is cup of tea. Because there's bands I'll hear and I'll be like, they're not my cup of tea, but there's quality stuff there.
That's
and
the
I bet
old
the people who like this flavor of tea, they're going to love this.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And I imagine there's people who hear that song and they're like, not my cup.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. You're missing out, but whatever. Right.
I don't like seafood. I'm missing out.
Really?
I don't like nothing seafood. I know.
I'm not a big fan of it, but I can handle some shrimp.
Yeah, people love it, and I'm just like, I'm glad. I hope you guys get some quality seafood. I just
not going to Red Lobster.
Nothing that has ever agreed with me, but it's that idea with music, and like I just have stopped being like this music's crap or this music's great, and just being like, this isn't for me. I think is the way I'm starting to lean, or it is for me.
Yeah. I forgot that I did this when we first scheduled you to come back. I went back and looked at the very the episode 40, and then I was like, well, I knew he came on as a co-host, and I knew it was Quiet Hours. I just didn't know where it was. I thought it was like shortly after that, but apparently it was in December because Atticus Finch was in June.
Yep.
And so I wrote down those numbers. And I forgot that I did that. But Atticus Finch was episode 40, June 15th of 21. and that was 337 episodes ago, I think, was the math, like that. And then you came on as a co-host with your dry erase board. That was nice.
Yep.
That was a good touch. With Quiet Hours on episode 73 on December 7th of that year of 21.
Yeah, that was worlds ago at this point, doesn't it feel?
It was. I mean, well, show-wise, it's completely different than it was on episode 40 and 73. You know, I mean, it's just, I mean, even between episode 40 and 73 was a little bit of a better, it was a little bit better, but not really. Like when I made that clip that I posted to Instagram right shortly after we scheduled, I made this clip and it was from episode 40, and then I don't think I added anything from the Quiet Hours thing, or I might have. Yeah, I did. There's a little, you know how much I had to like turn the volume up on both of us talking. Like the quality was awful, and I'm like, what did I? And I don't think I knew it was like low, but I didn't know it was that bad at the time. And like now, I find I have to turn myself down sometimes when I'm making clips, myself or the guest. You know, it's just that much better. You know, it's that much clearer. The video's that much clearer. It doesn't matter if I'm using my camera or my phone. I'm definitely not going to use my MacBook camera because I know it sucks. But
yeah,
you know,
when
you guys were on, it was my iPad camera, and that was terrible. And I think I probably knew that then, but why didn't I fix it? You know,
well, I'm terrible. I think is the wrong. Like, you know, there's this idea that I've been thinking about. It's the idea of perfection. Perfection will keep you from never starting.
Right.
And it's like the truth. Yeah, the truth is you just have to start.
Yeah.
You know, I something. This is, Ansler. I was painting something yesterday, and I've got this thing where I'm like, oh, you know, I want to spray my doors. I want to take them off of the hinges, which I've never done, and I want to spray the doors. But then last night, I'm just like, I'm just gonna paint the door and see what it looks the inside of a closet. And then it looked fine. And honestly, I'm just gonna do that because.
But isn't it gonna bother you that those edges are not painted, where that you didn't take the door off? One of these days you'll get bored and do that, you know? I
might, but you know what? I looked at it and it's like I've painted places in my house, but I've never painted the doors. And it's like
at least you got it done.
You know, I painted the door now.
Is it done though?
Yeah, the door's done. It looks fine.
Let's see. I'm kidding.
I'm not that comfortable with it. God, it's not that good of a paint job.
Oh man. Yeah, it's I mean, looking back at those episodes is cringy, you know, even the show with you guys. But I think I was at a point where I had finally settled into the interview process, and you know, of course I've tweaked it since then, even and how I go about doing things. You know, now I don't try to correct myself or try to remember what I was going to talk about. I just make fun of myself because rather than be embarrassed about not remembering. I used to write scripts out for the whole show, but I would never look at it on the show. It'd be right in front of me, but I would never look at it or go by it, you know? So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wing every episode. And I've done that for 5.5 years, or almost 5.5 years now. And it's fine.
It's conversational. Hold on, Scott, I'll be right back. I have to get a tissue.
You have to? Okay.
Full transparency. Getting a tissue quick.
I'm going to plug the contest again. All right. So while Patrick's doing that, there's a thing on Instagram, and it went to Facebook also with the link to do the merch bundle thing. So I need to probably put it in the chat somehow. I don't know how I do that. I have to go get the the link. I'll get the link and put it in the YouTube live chat. So that way, if you want to join the contest, you have to go back and find the part in episode 372 about what Shay Vicious does for a living. The three guys that were on, what each of them do for a living, and it's very, very entertaining what they do. I wish I could tell you, but I can't because it's the contest. So do that. Find out what their jobs were, and then I'm going to get the Google form link and put it in the YouTube chat so people can, if they want to join from here, they can. So I'll do that in a second. But yeah. So
372, right?
What is it?
372 is the episode?
Let me double check. Let me double check this. I don't want to tell people the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. So the question is on episode 372. David, John, and Alex from Shay Vicious, very good band. Check them out. You might like it. They did a cover of Eleanor Rigby, and it's badass. It's way better than the Beatles version. But find the part of the episode where we were talking about their day jobs, and they're really good. Like they're really good jobs for you would never think. One of them is a giveaway as soon as you start watching because it says it right under his name what he does. But so that was kind of how we got onto that in that interview. Anyway, so figure out what their jobs were, each of their jobs were, and then put it in this form that I'm going to put it in the chat. It's right here. Go to this form, and it tells you everything you need to do on that form. I think it even tells you what to do afterwards, which is watch on Friday. Watch on Friday, and win a bundle of crap from me. There it is. Okay. Boom. There's the link. Go to that link when you figure it out, or go there now and save it in your bookmarks. So that way, after this show, you can go watch that. And then Friday, when it's a little bit later of a show, but I was going to do it Thursday when I do my Christmas special. I do a Christmas special every year now with my buddy in London, and we have to do it at 5 p.m. because he's in London, and he's 5 hours ahead, so we can't do it at 9 p.m. So instead of doing it Thursday, I'm going to do it Friday with Within a Reverie. They're from Florida, Orlando, Florida, and that show's at 9 p.m. So it'd be late enough. Plus it's a Friday. Nobody has to wake up early in the morning. Well, not everybody. So we'll do the contest Friday instead of Thursday. That way, because it's tough for people to watch the show at 5 p.m. and try to So I figured I'd make it a little bit more friendly and do it on Friday. But you're saying I should, if it's not taking off that quickly, I should wait. And I don't have anybody scheduled until like the middle of January after that, because I'm kind of I got to get my scope done and all that stuff for my thing. So I kind of quit, kind of took those, but we'll see.
Yeah. If you notice it just not getting that, change the scope of the,
it might take some time to get the stuff from shipping though, because of the Christmas holiday and stuff also, but
yeah, I'll tell you, FedEx will be begging for the business in January.
I hate FedEx. They're slow.
UPS.
They're slow, I go postal service with everything. If I have to ship something or get something, I always choose that.
I typically do too. And that's convenient too. The postal service is the closest thing to my house too. So it's just you drop in and.
When I was talking to my mom about telling her how I know you and stuff the other day, I was trying to remember what you do for a living or what you did. Maybe you don't do it anymore. Wasn't it something with TV or media or something?
So media, yep. I used to be a news reporter and like an anchor and producer, all that up in Watertown, New York. But now I do communication, very similar. I do video work, communications, and websites, social media, and all of that stuff. And I meet some pretty cool people on the journeys, and you get to interview a lot of cool folk and see a lot of cool things. And I very much adore being able to do that. I'm a people person.
I think you were on. Weren't you on? I'm seeing a clip in my head of you on someone's show or somebody interviewing you. It might have been your local station or something.
Oh, it was my college.
That's what it was.
The college I went to. Yeah, my professor called and asked me to come back, and I said, "For you, anything." He's very, very great teacher. I went to Herkimer College in my hometown, and excellent media production program, and I'm very grateful that it was just literally a couple minutes away from my house.
I have since you brought up Herkimer again, I have a question about something up that way. Yeah. So I do a lot of Google Earthing. I don't know if I told you that then. I don't think I did because I didn't really, but I do a lot of that now because I meet people from all over the world. So I like to just look into their area and see what's up. So I've done that with Herkimer in the past, but I wanted to do it again because the map changes.
Yes,
there's things that. So I don't remember the name or anything. This is going to be tough, but it's a small town, and there's an overlook. Like it overlooks like a valley or something, but it's supposedly haunted. This overlook
mansion, Little Falls.
Is that what it is?
Is that what you're thinking of?
I think it's near. Okay, I'll tell you what it's near. It's near. Well, on the Google Earth, it was. It's near the thing they call the chutes or the slides or whatever, where you can actually like ride down the. Man,
you're thinking of Moss Island, where people can jump into the.
That doesn't ring a bell. It was like an overlook. There's really nothing. Like when I went down to the Google Street Mode, there was nothing around, like just like fields and forests and shit. But like what was it called? I might have to try to get on there. I can do that while I'm on here. I don't think it's going to mess up. You have good internet, so we'll just... I've got to find it because I was like, I'm going to ask Pat about that to see if he's been there. Because for Halloween and stuff, I'll do like a paranormal show. I don't really dive into that stuff too much. It's just interesting. But I was like, I've got to ask him about that. But it was near. I'm not going to say it was near. Google Earth. It could be 50 miles. Because you're up high. But okay, there's Herkimer. Now it was like north. I want to say it was north of Utica, maybe. I should put this on. I should share. Let's do that. Let's share the screen.
Let's see what you're looking at.
We can do this together. Let me go to my share screen here. People are going to be like, really? He's going to do that? Yes, I am. Okay, let me, where's my screens? There it is, screens, and then desktop 1. Yep, that works. I don't care if you see anything else. Okay, you can see the Google Earth, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's Utica right there. It was like north of there, I'm thinking. Somewhere, it just kind of, Herkimer Diamond Mines. Ooh. There's Herkimer College, right?
Yes, it is. Up on the hill.
All right. Now, it wasn't... There's Mohawk. Okay, I'm getting too excited here. It was somewhere north of here, and it just popped up on the map, and I was like, what is that? I'm never going to find it.
There is a haunted place in Boonville. It's an old home.
It was there's a train. Okay, there was like a historic train station near here, near this place I'm thinking of. That probably doesn't help either, but it wasn't that far over. I don't know why I'm going that far, but gosh, it's killing me here. It's not that big of a place. It kind of is, but I figured it would have been more popular than than we're getting at here. Where am I back to Herkimer? What is
You're
that?
in Utica still.
That's Utica? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was north of Utica. Up here somewhere. Somewhere wasn't quite like that far off of the interstate. Because what I was doing, I was following the interstate over to Herkimer. From here to see how long it would take to get to the Santa's Last Drop. That's what I was doing. Seriously. 10.5 hours, I think is what it was, but not bad. But anyway, I was kind of going through here, following it, and I saw it, and I swear it was like up in here somewhere. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, it was like a back road almost, and it was. Wait. There was a like a globe thing. Okay, I see this test facility thing. It was near something like that. It was like a white kind of like radar tower, but they called it something like They called it like the. Oh, what was it? Okay. We're getting warmer. This is going to turn into a scavenger hunt of sorts. No, it wasn't that. But it was near something like that. Like you couldn't, like people were saying, you can't drive up to it, but you can see it from the road. It's a radar tower, but it's shaped like a ball, I guess. And they said that you can't see it from everywhere because it's not that high, but it's there. And it's not. I guess it was used like during the World Wars or some shit, but it's not used anymore. But you still can't get to it because the government owns it. But it was near that. It's killing me. I'll find it probably when we're done and
let me know.
Yeah, but it was interesting because I was like, well, why is it haunted then? Anyway, I'll get off the thing. Okay, but I was like, well, why is it haunted? But apparently it was just people like here. On the other side of the road from the overlook, there's just a forest. It's just straight woods. There's a road on down that you can go up, and it goes up that way. But this whole block is just a forest, and people could hear like voices coming from the woods. I don't know. It was just myths or whatever. But I was just thinking it might have been close enough to where from that area that you are.
Yeah. Something
interesting. And then there was a over in the town near there was a like a historic site, and just when I get into these things, there's a lot of history involved. A lot of these places I look up, and so I learned something, and I did. I just can't remember what it was now. So I'll find it and let you know. In a couple weeks or whatever. I can't believe I keep finding it though. I thought it was like right there. I'm searching for it.
It's a bigger area than I think sometimes. It's just such a geographical match. What is it? The Adirondacks are just
Massive for that
the
area.
size of it is bigger than certain states.
You know, what I had never really looked up, and I did eventually that night after I looked up that stuff. I got down to the Finger Lakes region because I never really looked around it on Google Earth in the Finger Lakes region, and it's interesting because they are really fingers. That they're just slithers of stuff on the map, and it's just I assume it's popular with people that go there and people who live there too. Is that
gorgeous
near
area?
Is that near where?
A couple hours away. I've been there. I've been to. I haven't spent a ton of time there, but they have the Watkins Glen International Speedway there.
Yeah, that's a good.
I've been there a couple times. And
how many are there? Is there like a set amount of Finger Lakes, or is it just several?
I should know this.
You should. I'm going to quiz
there
you.
There might be. All right, so there might be 5.
I'm thinking 7.
I don't know but I know that a lot of them are named after old Native American tribes.
Right. Okay. Here they are. Well, the ones I can see, there's like a group of very small ones. There's 4 there of the small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe, or 7 or 5. Yeah, I don't know, but we won't have a trivia unless the chat wants to trivia that one. I don't know. I don't even know if anybody's still chatting. It's 16 people. Come on, man. Somebody's got to. I bet
someone's got to know.
They're all from Atticus Finch, and they're just making fun of you, like in their own little group,
And I respect that. I respect. You know what? If I could be, if people are enjoying themselves,
so is
at
it
my expense? I'm okay.
Every Christmas, then it's like a reunion for Atticus Finch, right?
It is. We get together, and not everybody can always make it home, but. What's really cool is, we've got just such a spectrum of musicians now and the different paths you go. We've got the dad of 2 kids who really only gets to play guitar this time of year just to get ready for the show, all the way to someone whose career is music, as far as playing live and has toured in multiple bands and has played Warped Tours.
That's the guy out in LA, right?
Yeah, Jordan.
Jordan, that's right. Yeah. Hi, Jordan.
Yep. So it's you look to that, it's just a whole spectrum of people as far as where they are. But the idea is, what's so special about Santa's Last Drop is the music comes second. It's the idea that people have been known each other for years. Life's brought us to different places, but on this one night, we're all going to get together in the same place, and we're going to have a good old time, and we're going to do it as long as we can.
Does any money go to charity or anything, or where does the money? Is there money to get in or anything?
No, there's no money. So typically, what happens is myself or other band members will put down money to rent the hall, and then we'll get some food, and then it's free.
Nice.
Well, so we don't charge anybody for anything, and we just bring our equipment. And it was nonchalant, and the only reason it's not nonchalant is because we packed the house now.
Yeah.
But it's a place where people can come and just have a good time.
And look forward to the whole year, pretty much now,
Yeah, I've had people messaging me the last month just saying, I can't wait, and I can't wait either.
Now since you're pretty much you're probably the closest band member that's still in that area, or am I wrong there?
There's one that's closer, and there's a couple guys who were playing part of it today who are going to be part of it Saturday who are in that area. So there's people there, but
so it's not just you doing this whole planning all year then.
No.
Okay. Well, that's good.
No. Shout out to my mom. She goes and she makes the deposit at the club every year.
Nice.
Yeah. It's never intentional. It's just always, hey, Mom, can you stop down to the Polish club and just rent the hall for us that day? They say it's open. Sure, I can do that for you.
They say it's open. It might not be open, but they say it is.
And she's got a deposit back every year. So
the reason I asked you that is putting on an event is just, it's a lot. You went away there for a minute. I don't know what happened.
Blew my nose. No need to see that.
Okay. Yeah, you're good then. No, I organized the 5-year concert, that we did in August, and the venue didn't have sound equipment, so I had to find a sound guy. And my buddy Rob kept saying, we can just run it. We can. I was like, we could, but like then somebody is just focused on that, and nobody's enjoying themselves. I want to hire somebody to do it, so that's their job to do that. And there's some things I wish I would have done. To make things easier. We tried to do a back line. Somehow that didn't happen, and everybody's equipment was on the stage the whole night. So there wasn't room for people to stand even in their own band. You know, just there were just certain things that next time there'll be a stage manager that will say, okay, you're up next. You're not up yet, so take your equipment off. You know, somebody else do that. Because I didn't sit down the whole time. I maybe sat down for 5 total minutes. I was there from 2 p.m. until 1 a.m. And I had sat down for maybe a total of 5 minutes because every time I sat down to rest, because I had a photographer there, so she would be like, hey, they want to get your picture with them, you know, the band. Because I told her to make sure that she gets a group of each band. Yep. But they would also want me in the picture. So I would have to get up, you know, so there was no relaxing really for me. You know, and then our band played too, so I didn't get to relax then either. But yeah, it was still fun. You know, we had a great time. Everybody had a great time doing it. And I'd love to do it again. It was just, I need help doing it. Yeah. You just can't do everything, you know?
No, you can't. And I've learned that. And that's what's cool is we got a collective community. And, good, you know, there's years I've done sound, not that I'm great at it. But typically we bring the PA and we have a couple people who know how to use it. You know, people can kind of keep monitor on it together. And then we've got one guy who's technically in the band. You know, I say technically because he's essentially the tech guy, the mixer, master, producer, sound guy of the band, Mike Tripoli. He can't be there this year. So, but when he's there, we sound the best we'll ever sound. When he's not there, people have a good time.
Yeah, we'll just put it like that. No, I actually seriously researched how long would it take me to get to Herkimer from here, and it was like 10 and a half to 11 hours, which isn't, you know, I've driven that.
Sounds about right.
You know, so, well, I'll have to plan to do that some year because it looks like a good time, and you know, plus I get to see Atticus Finch.
Yes.
So
it'd be awesome to have you one of these years. You would enjoy it, and it's cool because Herkimer is a you know, such a smaller town, and
I can fly to Albany that way if I didn't drive, right?
Albany, Syracuse, and then it's an I-90 into Herkimer, the Interstate 90.
I'll have to plan that maybe for next year.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is it's just like years ago we all made this music scene because there was no music scene. There was no money to be made in this. And between maybe trying to
really
school at a cafeteria, but or at a Moose Lodge or a VFW hall or a Marine Corps and now the Polish Club, if you give us a room, we'll have a good time.
Yeah, that's badass.
And it's funny because I sound like when, you know, you used to interview people in news, people would talk about their event and they'd say, you know, it's for a good cause, you know, it brings everyone together, fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
But like with this event now, I'm like, it's true though. It's so true. Those things,
I mean, they weren't wrong.
They were not wrong, but it was just every event, that same thing. And I feel that now.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'll have to get up there and do that because I have friends in Yonkers now, and Yonkers, I don't know how far Yonkers would be, but
about probably 3 hours from Herkimer.
I got a band that I had on, you know, later on after you guys were on, and I actually became good friends with them. They came down here and played a show with us, with our band, with my band, and it was Maintenance is their name. Maintenance.
It's a good name.
They're actually still together. They were doing some studio work, and I don't know I haven't heard anything else from Phil for a while, but
yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to lose time. Where's my time at? It was on here. I don't know where it is, but I mean we're still pretty good. Maybe 15 minutes. I don't like to go too long. I've gone 2 hours before, and it's just, you know, it's overkill, I think. But let's go ahead and do the offstage thing.
Okay.
That way I can kind of pull up the. Why did that? Oh, because I maximized it. That's why. Okay. So since I didn't transfer their server to my mixer yet, I'll have to play the thing that I made for the offstage segment. I made a little jingle of sorts, you know, a way to go into the segment. And what I used though, I couldn't. I was trying to think what song can I use in the background. Like I wanted to use somebody's song, you know, like somebody that I've had on or something, and I couldn't think of anything. And you know, right off the top of my head, and I was like, well, I had this thing that I'd created in GarageBand, and I was like, well, I could use that, but it's not like rock music or anything. It's just like sounds. And I was like, okay, that's not gonna work because I tried it and it didn't land. So what I landed on was a single that I released with my buddy Mike about 3 years ago now, and it's actually the video and everything is up on my YouTube channel here. You just have to go to the videos and you can see it's called Dream. So I put that in the beginning of that in the background of this, and I think it worked pretty good. I could level it the right way. And it's just kind of a hype up for the offstage segment, and also that Benjamin Hall Audio is the sponsor of this segment now, as I have a sponsor, which is crazy. Anyway, this is that. Hopefully that's it. I'm pretty sure it is. And then we'll do the offstage segment. That's not it.
Welcome.
That's your thing. That wasn't it.
I was gonna say I've heard that song before.
Yeah, I don't know why.
In my dreams.
Let me see if this is it then. I don't know why this would. I don't think it is, but nope. Okay. Now, what did I do with that? Okay, so this happened. This happened last time Pat was on, right? I don't know. I might just have to just. This segment is sponsored by Benjamin Hall Audio. That's probably better than the AI guy did it anyway. You know.
I'd like it better than the AI guy. Yeah.
I did find it though when I was looking up the file to transfer. I'm pretty sure I found it because I saved it to the desktop. It should be on the desktop, right? This happens all the time. Doesn't it? To me. It's just me. Little old me.
It's not just you.
But it is.
Anyone who's watching who's tried it has felt your pain right now.
Hey, Mom, I need the new MacBook. This one's not cutting it. It's getting rid of my things here. Because I know for a fact last night I put it in the converter to convert it over to Wave so I could put it on the mixer. I did it. I did it when Rob was here. He was sitting on the couch and I was sitting in the chair, and I know exactly what I did. But I didn't name the file. That's another problem. Or did I? Yeah, there it is. There it is, right there.
Boom, boom, boom.
I found it. It's even a WAV file, so I could have done it, but I will do it on QuickTime. Okay, let's try this again. Ready? Okay, here we go. That was my cat meowing. If you heard that, that's not part of it, but it could be. Here, try this.
Isolate vocal tracks. Monitor gain levels. Automate reverb. We're headed off stage. Powered by Benjamin Hole Audio.
What do you think?
Nice.
You like that?
I do.
Did that work? Did that land?
It sets the tone. Yes.
I'm glad I found it because now I'm in a mood to do off stage. You know, I'm gonna leave that QuickTime thing up there so I can do that when we're done. I can switch. Okay. Basically, what this is just a bunch of would you rather questions. There's no right answers, but you have to pick one or the other. Okay.
Okay.
Are you opposed to doing raunchy questions? Because I don't know who's watching.
If you ask a question and I feel uncomfortable with it, I will say pass.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. No, I had a bunch of bands from Reaction Management. That's a management company over in Scotland. And he gave me a bunch of bands to interview, and he sent me a message today and said, "Can you pull the episode down because they don't want their parents seeing what they answered for this?" I was like, "Sure," but I'm going to send. They would still want the files, so
yeah.
Anyway, so I don't want to. I know it's Christmas time and families might be watching and stuff. Even though the show is not rated for that, I will. You're a special guest, so I will stay away.
I'll give you this. If
there's a Dick's question, can I ask the Dick's question at the end?
You can ask it, but I may say pass.
Okay, all right. Because everybody gets that question, I can't not do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll stay away from because there's some real raunchy ones on here that I'll just
okay
skip over. And maybe you can co-host with me sometime again, and be on there when I'm asking that question.
And I can do this face.
yeah, and have the dry erase board just there, just in case we need it for something.
It's like that guy from Happy Gilmore is just like after every time Happy Gilmore did something bad, the golfer's just like.
yeah. Did you see the second one? Isn't there a second Happy Gilmore?
I did. If you
terrible?
liked, if it wasn't terrible, no, it wasn't. If you've never seen Happy Gilmore, it doesn't make sense. But if you like the movie Happy Gilmore, it's worth the time to watch it. I'll probably never watch it again, but I watched it and said, "I see what you did here." Okay.
That's the way. That's because with Liar, or not Liar, Dumb and Dumber. I saw Dumb and Dumber 2, and it was terrible, but it wasn't horrible. But it was. I don't think you needed to see the first one for that. I don't know if you saw the second one or not, but
I did.
I saw the one without the real guys and the one with, and of course the ones what those other kids were. That was terrible. But the Dumb and Dumber 2, which with the
The Bob Saget part in that movie though was Bob Saget played that part to the T though. The
Bob
father.
Saget plays every good part good.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right, let's dive into this. I feel like we should do a good solid. Okay, would you rather have perfect pitch but no sense of rhythm, or perfect rhythm with no sense of pitch?
Perfect rhythm with no sense of pitch.
Really? Why?
I think because I think that's because I could always play a drum set and always play a guitar. But
True.
if I had no rhythm, all I did is, that note sounds good, but everything else sounds pretty bad.
That's a good point. Okay, here's this one kind of ties into that, I guess. Would you rather have to give up creating music for the rest of your life or give up listening to music for the rest of your life? That's a tough one.
I give up listening.
I want to ask you why for all of them.
Can I listen to my own music that I create?
Sure.
I feel like you kind of have to. I think that case them because I find myself in music, and because I find myself in music, I create it. And a lot of songs, maybe they're just
write that down, and you can make money off of like a pillow or something.
Put that on a pillow. I find myself in music, but I feel like as much as I'll miss listening to music, which I love it, I've listened to enough where if I couldn't create it anymore, I feel like there'd just be a part of me missing.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Some of these are new, so I haven't dove into them yet. I've tried a few of them, and they don't work. But would you rather? Okay, let's go away from a would you rather question and just a regular question. What's your wife might be good to answer this one for you later on, but what's the manliest thing you think you've ever done? Just you think you've ever done?
Manliest thing that I have ever done.
She might have a different answer than you, but
I would say open up a crack in a wall with a utility knife and slap putty in it.
Okay, why you got to give me some background here. What?
So, our house was built in 1950s. The walls have settled. You've got these cracks, and there's just something that feels manly about.
That's true.
Yep,
yeah.
I'm gonna take my utility knife. I'm gonna crack that thing open even bigger, and I'm gonna slap some putty in it.
Home improvement makes you a man.
Yeah, exactly. It is just
I get that.
I think I look all cool in my gym shorts and steel toe boots as I do it.
Yeah. In your Atticus Finch T-shirt.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's stay on this for a minute. What's the most elaborate excuse you've ever used to get out of doing something?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Is it?
Elaborate, because that's the thing. Elaborate.
Yeah, elaborate. And this ties into another one. I'll ask you after this one.
I don't really know.
Maybe okay. Well, maybe this next question you can maybe put it into the same. What's the most elaborate lie you've ever told, but you got caught in it?
When my wife and I can't say it's the most, but it's what came to mind first.
Okay.
When my wife and I started hanging out, I told her that I couldn't read.
And you were like dead serious about it?
I trolled, and I used to be a really bad troll where I would just kind of come up with things, and eventually I'd let people in on it. But
She
them.
didn't know you were like that though.
No. And what happened was,
but you're in like journalism. Like how did you?
Well, I would do it in my personal life, but what happened was I realized in this era of social media with everything so fake and all these sarcasms and jokes, she goes to me one time and is like, I don't know if you're being serious or if you're not. And I realized that if she can't tell if I'm serious or not, I probably need to stop doing this.
Maybe.
So now I just kind of troll my nieces and nephews here and there.
So how did you tell her that you actually can read, or did she just figure it out?
She figured it out because she's like, this guy works at a TV station. And
that's what I'm saying. Like you're in media, you're in media. You can't not be able to read.
Yeah, it was not a good lie. It was a really bad troll.
But it's funny.
It was, I suppose it was.
How long did it go though? And like, how long did you have her going with this?
I don't know, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's hey, that's
Maybe
that's
maybe 20.
that's manly as shit, you know.
And you know what? I think she didn't believe it, but she's just sitting there being like, it's kind of like where you don't know someone enough to call them out. You're just like,
That's right. Yeah.
oh,
And she didn't want to be mean and be like,
oh yeah,
like,
okay,
like
all
yeah,
right,
you can, yeah, you
okay.
can. Yeah. She was so she played along for a little bit, but in the back of her mind, she's like, he's an asshole.
It's like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Who says this?
That's how I flirt. That's what you should have said. Yeah. Says the guy that's single. Okay. Oh, this will be a good one,
Okay.
especially for folks that know you that might be watching or even watch later. What's one thing you're secretly terrible at that everybody assumes you're good at? There's got to be something.
You know, there probably is, and I'm thinking of it because I'm trying to not be like, you know, we get self-conscious about ourselves and say, oh, I'm not really good at that.
Yeah, you know,
I'm trying
yeah.
to narrow those things out for you because it's like, oh, you know, because it's like, for instance, I do a lot of writing at my work.
Yeah.
And I'm surrounded by great writers. So because I'm surrounded by great writers, I think I'm not a good writer, but I'm a solid writer.
Well, you would be
just,
surrounded by great writers if you weren't a good writer because you're
and
part
that's
of.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of,
I'm not trying to throw you like put you in that thought process, but
I would say reading music.
Okay.
I can't read music.
But people think you can.
I think so, like for instance, like when I say, or even this, we'll be playing and someone's like, yeah, it goes from a C to F or something like that chords, and I'll just be like, sounds good. Looks at fingers. Where are they on guitar?
That could also be an elaborate lie too.
I that could go for that too, but probably
That's
that
crazy.
people think I know my chords and can read music and follow.
So you can't like read tabs or anything, like guitar tabs?
I can read the guitar tabs, but I'm not good at it.
That's the easy way to do it, really. But notes, like I can't read guitar notes, but I can read like I used to play trombone, so I can read that.
I can't read notes at all.
It's not that difficult. I can teach you sometime if you want. All right, let's go on to a silly one. I won't do raunchy because it's the holiday season.
Thank you.
Other than the Dick's question, I will ask you because everybody gets that question, but you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Okay.
But that's in a little bit. Would you rather know exactly when you will die or how you will die? Tough one also. For some people.
So this is hard.
I try to go for those questions that like people don't really think of if you rather, and have to pick one of them,
How I will die.
And I always have to ask why because, there's different reasons.
Because if I know when I'll die, I'll always look at that date as the most important date of my life. But if it's how I die, I can still get lost in a moment. And then I'll die.
You'd avoid that situation for the rest of your life, Then you won't.
And then it's like, but here's what if it's
then you'll never die.
What if it's like, how am I gonna die? Avoiding a situation.
Yes.
Oh no! That means I can't avoid anything. I just must do everything.
And here's the situation right here.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a good one. Would you rather have to sing everything you say for the rest of your life and for the rest of the interview here? Sing everything, or only be able to communicate through interpretive dance?
Sing.
Yeah, I figured. Okay. There's some people that say dance because they can't sing, but we don't have to be good. You just have to sing it, But nobody's had to do that for the rest of the episode, so.
Well, I appreciate that.
I think that's good for everybody involved.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. We'll do one more, and then we'll do the famous Dick's question that I didn't come up with. It was a previous guest that came up with that, and it hits every time. I don't know why. But, and instead of a would you rather, I'll just give you a straight up question. So, are there any strange food combinations you secretly enjoy? There was a guy that I had a band on from I think they're from Dallas, and he likes to eat Doritos with cottage cheese all the time.
That makes sense.
I guess.
I've never tried it, but
I don't like cottage cheese, but I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you think of the flavoring of the Doritos. You can put Doritos probably with most things.
Yeah, it's true. Taco Bell can, at least.
Yeah, flavor combination.
Like ketchup on pizza, or there's a lot of weird ones out there. But
I'm from New York State. We put almost anything on pizza.
Anything?
I've seen a lot.
I was gonna say we could go through the debate of.
I mean, if you're doing cheeseburger pizza, ketchup's probably been on it.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
right. Yeah.
So,
anything?
anything.
Some people don't have anything. It's just one of the questions.
What if my tastes are so weird that it's a good question. It really is.
Chocolate milk and hot dogs is the best.
I've never done that.
It's one thing.
What's up? It's a weird flavor combination.
If there's
I have eaten vanilla ice cream and refried beans together before.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Vanilla bean ice cream.
Was it a mistake or like?
No, it was a troll. Because I'm like, it was like the idea of vanilla bean ice cream. Get it?
Oh my God, that's gross. But yeah,
know.
I mean, I see the connection there, but like, that's not the same thing as. And how does anybody have refried beans at the house just sitting there? You know, everybody's got ice cream, but like
you always have to have a can of refried beans at the house. I mean, if you're making a chili, you want to thicken your chili, put a can of refried beans in it at the end. If you need a little thicker, because the beans are mashed up, you stir it around, and your chili gets hearty.
I'll try that next time when I do chili.
It's worth it. It's worth dropping it in.
Problem with that is I can't have chili anymore because of my thing.
So, oh God, yeah, that's.
I can have like broths, clear broths, but not like anything. Like I figured it out on my own because I make homemade spaghetti sauce, and I made that shortly after my first hospital stay, and the next day I felt horrible. So I can't have anything red sauce-y, which sucks because my mom made vegetable soup the other day and couldn't give me any.
Oh no! So is what more like chicken broth and such?
Yeah, I think so because that's been okay. Like, and it tends to be a lot of like I'm supposed to stay away from like fattening things, but like a creamy chicken noodle was okay.
Okay.
But I can't. Apparently, it's like like red sauce. So I don't think chili would be very good. But I did have Wendy's chili one night after having this, and I didn't feel good the next day. So I know for a fact chili happened. Wendy's chili, yes, is a bit different. It's a little bit spicier than I'm used to, but it's the consistency and what's in it that makes it flare. So.
That makes sense.
All right, Dick's question. And then we'll have to wrap up. It sucks we have to wrap up. Now that you're healed, and I'm sort of healed, we can do this more often, hopefully.
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right, everybody gets this question. What was his name? His name wasn't Patrick. Patrick came to mind for some reason, but that wasn't his name. They were on a long time ago, but I did this thing where I was like, well, ask the next guest a question, and or come up with a question I'll ask, but I could never remember to do that, to ask that question that they came up with, so I quit doing that altogether. But this is the one that he had for the next guest. Would you rather have dicks for fingers, or never be able to taste anything ever again? You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but it's not that raunchy, really.
It's not. It's more of a. There's raunchiness to it, but it almost leans more Twilight Zone than raunchy.
True. Or Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. I feel like, because really what it comes down to is what sense is more important to you, taste or touch? When you really boil it down, like that's what you're asking, just in a more fun way. Yeah. And my mind wants to go to taste is more important and take the, on my fingers. But I think that I'd rather have my fingers and not taste, because I feel like touch is so important. Like you talk about the idea of like, giving my mother a hug, right? It's like
with 10 of those.
Right. The idea of being able to embrace my mom, to know that she is not uncomfortable, nor am I, and be able to enjoy that for all the beautifulness that it is. Who thinks
of their mother in that question, though? I mean,
well, that's why it's like I can't have these things on my fingers because I have to hug my mother.
Okay, that's a good.
So that's how I come back to that. It would ruin things like that for me. Where taste, it's like, if
you have to give up one, I guess that would be the logical thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I've had several different answers to that question. It's funny every time, but that's very logical. I like that. Well, yeah, you'll have to come back sometime, and I have several. I have several. Well, not several, but I have a few people that co-host with me consistently, and that's what makes this show great. Is because it's not just me all the time, and asking. I try not to ask the same questions, but sometimes you have to in an interview. You have to ask the same questions about their music and about their band, and it's just after a while it gets redundant even with me. So I get I have my friend in London that's going to be on Thursday, and his name's Tom. And I met him around the time that you guys were on, I think, because I met him on SoundCloud when I was still up on SoundCloud doing stuff. His music was there, and I had him on as a guest, and then he just started coming and co-hosting with me, especially when I had European bands on, because it was in his time zone and it was convenient. So we've become friends. We've never met in person, just on Zoom. We've never shook hands or anything like that. But he's actually hosted this show and interviewed me twice on here. So he's a really good buddy. But he will be on Thursday at 5 p.m. for the Christmas special. We do it every year, and he has a collection of hats, just different kinds of hats that he just swaps throughout the whole episode. Sometimes I don't even notice that he swapped his hat out, but just has all these weird hats. Like one of them's a rooster and one of them's dreadlocks, and so he'll be on Thursday. But he co-hosts with me quite a bit, and I have a friend that came on as a guest. That was the first time I met him. He came on as a guest, and he lives down in Austin, Texas. His name's Mark, and shout out to Mark. He might be watching. I don't know. He's also one of the chat moderators sometimes. So he co-hosts with me, and then I'll have my friend Bo. Well, he lives right down maybe half an hour from here, so he'll come up and sit right next to me and co-host with me. And so I mean, several people that make the show what it is, and it's just basically what I'm saying is since you were on, these things have happened, and it's nuts. So it'd be great to have you on as a co-host again now that I know what I'm doing and more.
Well, how about this? Well, first off, I got a question for you. Have you ever needed a translator to interview a band?
There was an instance that came up, yes, but it was more that they were afraid because their English was more broken. And I think we had captions just like the YouTube captions were up, and I think they turned because Zoom has the thing now. Now I don't know if we had it then, but they could see the captions on YouTube and they were answering that way. But that was a while ago, and but yeah, there's been instances, yes, that I think that maybe some bands are afraid to be on because they can't speak much English. I don't know, but I've never had it yet. But I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure it would come up at some point. Why?
Oh, I was just curious. You've interviewed people from so many different places. I just asked because I feel like it's a high likelihood at some point you may come across that where it's like, hey, someone wants to come on the show, but there's a language barrier there. Are you open or interpret? Well,
there is Zoom has a thing, a setting now that I could actually make the setting ahead of time, so they don't even have to have a Zoom account. But you can put the captions in any language you want.
That's cool. And
it'll be a local caption, so they won't have to wait for the latency of YouTube. It'll come up on their screen first. The captions will, and I assume that's how it works. Okay. I've yet to use it, but yeah, I mean and plus I can hire somebody myself and assign them to be the interpreter throughout the whole thing, or I can have Zoom hire somebody for me, but then I have to have a new license, and it's a lot more a month than I pay now. Yeah. And I don't need that add-on. Yeah. So I'll figure it out, I guess. But yeah, I mean, more often than not, what I've learned from doing 30 some different countries, everybody in other countries have to learn English at some point in their life in their schooling. They have to. It's a part of the curriculum to move on. They can't get to the next level in school without learning English, and I think that's just bogus. Because I took French 1 and 2 when I was in school. I can't fluently speak it at all. I barely remember any of it. And I did terrible at it when I was learning it, But, we have Spanish classes we can take, but we don't have to. I think I rather would have taken Spanish than French, because there's more Spanish-speaking people in America than there is French people, I'm sure. But, I did think it's crazy that they must learn English to move on. And that's pretty much all of the ones that I talk to. I've talked to bands in Estonia and in Hungary and things like that. And it's just like they have to learn English. So it's never really been a problem, because at least one person in the band is fluent enough to understand what's happening, But that's a good question, yeah.
But I was going to say, how about this? Because you're 400th. It's going to be you're going to go big. And
I'm big now, but
no, well, bigger than you are now.
Yeah, you're
so
be long.
How about this? let's try this. Things always can pop up, but so you don't get a hangover on episode 401. I'll come back 401, and but 401, I'll come back. I'll co-host with you.
Nice.
On 401. So that way you do the special for 400 and 401.
Well,
you got a
little anymore. I don't do specials for numbers. I used to do like the 350 and the, and I used to like look for that guest or wait until I get that. But it's just whoever's on is on,
Yeah.
So they're all special. This one's special. One Thursday's going to be special. The one last week was,
Well, keep doing it.
It's special because I'm not sitting in the chair hurting. My pancreas isn't hurting or whatever. That was the worst because I was like, I can't. It's not that I couldn't do it. I didn't feel like it. And I'm sure there were days where like you were okay and you were with it and stuff. You just didn't feel like doing the things that you always do. I had to miss the 4th of July. I still have fireworks on the floor right here. There's 2 boxes of fireworks that I bought, and then I had that pancreatitis, and it flared up on July 4th because I'd just gotten out of the hospital the week before, I think. That's what it was. And I just didn't feel like going outside and letting off fireworks. And I didn't even go out and look at any, because the whole neighborhood's like, it's freaking Gettysburg around here on the 4th of July. It's crazy. But like, I didn't feel like I just wanted them to be quiet so I could sleep. It was just the worst feeling. So like, I was definitely relating with everything you were saying about, the music and, the way you felt when you were sick. And you're this person that has this drive to do this stuff, but you just don't feel like it anymore. Or in the moment, and that sucks.
And I think, I certainly have not taken this advice in my life at times, and I'm taking it now. It's important, number one, to give people grace when you notice they're going through something and you don't quite understand it. And even sometimes you'll hear it and you'll just be like, that doesn't sound right. But oftentimes someone could be lying to you. But also, too, if you've never gone through something, it probably isn't going to sound right.
Right. Yeah.
And then number 2, giving yourself the grace. And the grace could literally be, I love doing this. How come I don't want to do it?
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I wanted to do the show, but I had to cancel a few of them. And I never cancel the show ever, unless there's something drastic that's going on, like the internet. I went through that, but like, it was just that I could physically get up and come into the studio and sit at this desk and physically do it. I just didn't want to, and I didn't want it to show I didn't want it to show on the show. I didn't want to. It's not that I didn't want to. I just didn't want to do it. I had no drive to post. I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't active at all. And eventually I just put a post up that said, okay, this is what I'm going through, because I'm a transparent person for the most part. There's personal things, I'm sure, but I just wanted people to know I was still around. I was just, something's up,
Your energy and your mind had to be elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then when you had the time to put it back, you chose to put it back here.
It's just like if anybody gets the flu. If you've never gone through anything, like what we're talking about, if you ever had the flu or just been real sick, like strep throat or something like odd, or something awful like that, you just don't feel like doing anything because you don't feel good. And that's what it is, And there are some days physically where you probably could go out and run around the house or go mow the grass or something, but you just don't feel like it, And it's
But except it could be weeks or months at times when you're just like, you're literally like, what has to be done today?
Yep. It's
and
shit.
That's what I need to. That's what I have the capacity for, and everything else I'm just kind of waiting.
Real quick before we go, I'll tell you this. This goes right into the end of that. What happened to me today? About an hour before I come in here and get things ready, I'm putting this. I don't know if you've seen this big jugs of Hawaiian Punch that has like a handle on the top. And you hold it by. You don't think that handle is going to hold ever, but it always does. It's like holds under the cap or something. Because I just bought it yesterday, so I needed to put this in the fridge, right? I go to do that. I don't know how in the hell this happened, but it spilled all over everything from that shelf down in the refrigerator, right? I didn't. That's not something I wanted to do. Like, yes, I know the fridge needs cleaned out. It got cleaned out today for sure.
Because that'll do it.
That was awful. Like, and it wasn't that handle. The handle was still on there. It was the cap. And I know I had because I only gotten one cup of it. I don't know how it happened. It pissed me off though. I was like, "Are you serious right now?" Like, everything's going fine today. That has to happen,
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things. But yes, Mother, I cleaned it up. If she would care, I cleaned it up. It's not, even if I got all the orange stuff out of there, I still wiped it down with Lysol spray because it would have been sticky. So yeah, that's what I dealt with. Anyway, I just felt like if I rant here, I forget about it. I can go in and play my basketball game here in a second. And
What game?
NBA 2K26.
What do you play? I don't play 2K as much anymore, but like
I just play it on my Mac. I put my Mac up on the big screen and play it with I can play with my Xbox controller, which is nice.
You play through Game Pass?
No, I can't because it's through Apple Arcade.
I didn't know
on the Mac. Yeah,
I didn't know you could play 2K through Apple Arcade. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have Mac stuff?
I do have a Mac. Yeah.
Because you actually can play player versus player on there. I don't know how. I've never set it up like that. But I used to have an Xbox. Actually, it's still sitting in there. It's the not the 360, but the one after that.
I have on Steam. I do have one of the old 2Ks.
Yeah.
Typically what I do, I love the sports simulation games. I really don't play much. I just simulate and watch the stats go in and change things. I love doing that.
There's a new game. I know we're going on and on, but this is funny. There's a new game that came out on Apple Arcade, and that you can play with your Xbox controller. I always look for those because they're just easier to play than like pointing and clicking and stuff.
Yep.
And it's a simulator. It's Power Wash Simulator.
Huh.
And it's bomb. I spent hours playing that game because you have to get the entire playground clean. You can't leave that there, but you're just standing there spraying it. You can buy new nozzles. You can buy soap for it's crazy. Yep. The things that we do.
Yeah, they keep us occupied and they chill us out too.
Power Wash Simulator. Look it up. You like it?
Will do.
Pat, thanks so much for coming back, man. It's been a pleasure after all these years.
Thanks for having me. Seriously, it was an honor to be back and to be episode 378.
Yeah, there you are. Get the camera stand up there.
Yep. And I'll see you at 401.
Yes. I'm going to mark that down on my Google calendar.
Yeah, when you book 401, let me know when.
I will.
And if I can't make 401, I'll make 402.
And 403. That's your punishment. 2 in a row.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll be back on Thursday at 5 p.m. with Tom in London for the Christmas special with Tom's hats. I don't know if he's going to have the same this year. Sometimes he has different ones, but throughout the entire episode he switches hats, and it's really funny. We just kind of shoot the shit about the year. It's kind of more of I used to do a year in review, and I don't do that anymore. Sometimes we just do it on there. He'll just ask me about what was my favorite this and that, and we'll just talk about that stuff. Last year I added some like weird Christmas trivia that I found. I might do that again. And there's a couple of people I'm going to ask if they want to come on, like my a couple of favorites that I had throughout the year, if they want to just jump in for a second. I'm going to see if I can make that happen. But yeah, check it out. If you're watching and you've never watched this show before, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but hit subscribe and come back and watch again, and you might like it. I don't know.
Find some new favorite bands.
Yeah. And check out Patrick's music. It's really good. It's the new EP called Closure, right? EP's called Closure. And there's 3 really solid songs in there. I wish we had time to listen to all of them, but that forces people to go watch them, I like to do that too. Let's see. And then Friday, I have another band Friday, and then before the Christmas holiday, Within a Reverie is coming back for the 3rd time. I believe it'll be the 3rd time on the show. It's been, I think, 2 years since they've been on. They're from Orlando, and they got new music coming out. I haven't heard it yet. I swear I haven't. Sometimes I've heard this music, before the show even happens, before it's released, but not this time. I've not heard this stuff yet. I don't know if I'll hear it. I don't know if they'll send anything or not, but excited to talk to those guys again. But that'll be Friday at 9, and hopefully the contest, we can do that then. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see if anybody clicked on the form link that I put in there. But the trick is you got to go watch episode 372, the part where we talked about their jobs. Once you have that, put it in the form, and then watch Friday, and you can win a bundle. You can win, possibly, if you wear a large, you can win that shirt there. Or if you wear another size, I'll let you choose what shirt you want. There'll be some magnets in there, some pens, temporary tattoos, some stickers, and I think some hot sauce. I think I'll throw some hot sauce in there too. I guess.
All right.
Sitting over there. But send me your snail mail too. I owe you some new stickers since the other ones aren't valid. I'll send you some of these up, and I got some business cards. Actually, I just ordered more, but I got some more here.
I'll send some. We'll exchange address. I'll send some stickers your way as well.
Nice, yeah, because I got a whole wall full of them now. I don't know if it'll pan up there. If I can make this camera. I hate the phone because that's most of them. I put them all on these drum heads, and I'm actually about almost out of drum heads, but yeah. That's the stuff. That's not even the same board either from when Atticus Finch was on. That board was white. I don't know if you remember that, but it got destroyed over the years, and so now I have this one, and it's more compact. But I'm going to change that to the Christmas special. I got the letters.
Sets the tone.
Yeah. Thanks, man. If you have like 5 minutes, I'll give you a formal goodbye once I kill the live stream here in a second.
Yep. Cool yep. I'm here.
But as I promised, Atticus Finch gets the intro and outro because of what happened on episode 40. And I picked my two favorites. I like them all. Yes, I like them all. But these are my two favorites. So few and far between is the outro. Epic. Have a great Santa's Last Drop, and I will plan to go up next year to it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Tell the rest of the guys I said hello also.
I will do. I'll let them know.
And join us on Thursday at 5 p.m. with Tom, and then again on Friday with Within a Reverie at 9 p.m. We'll see ya. Gotta click on this. Here we go.